Hello again, my friend, and welcome. This is Michael Kelly here, Brainwave entrainment developer for the Brain Evolution System, or Brainwave for short. Today I'd like to congratulate you on your dedication to the program and that you are here today ready to complete your training with the final level. In this installment, we will be discussing the sixth and final level of the Brain Evolution System, Disc 6 Fusion. Today, of course, I'll be going over what this level does and what to expect as you complete your work with the entire Brainwave program. Disc 6 is the culmination of many of the brainwave entrainment frequencies and sounds from the previous 5 discs. We've applied sounds and music from every moment of the entire program to serve as a sort of summary of everything you've experienced throughout Brainwave. As seen in the previous 2 levels, we are demonstrating the ultimate balance between upper and lower brainwave rates as you relive aspects of the entire series in one compact 30-minute session. The disc itself is broken into thirds, as each section revisits elements from each of the previous levels. In the first third of this disc, you will hear audio from levels 1 and 2. In the second third, we use audio elements from the third and fourth levels, and in the last third of Fusion, we capture audio sounds from disc 5. Additionally, we apply specific audio and musical events to accentuate certain periods of balance that are found within the entrainment map. Everything that you have experienced within the system has led you up to this point. So, by now, your brain should be quite used to how these discs are laid out so that it can take to this final entrainment disc with ease. So, let's move towards explaining Disc 6's entrainment map to reveal how beautifully the disc has been arranged for maximum benefit. As you can see, right from the start, everything has been arranged around our usual center frequency around alpha and theta. This frequency is important since it is the center point between your most prevalent brainwave frequencies. In addition to learning this central doorway in other brainwave states, you're being shown points of balance in equal distribution throughout the disc. By learning this over and over, you're being given an intuitive understanding of how to switch in between the state of mind you need when needed. As always, I'd like to briefly run through each level prior to this particular disc so you can see what has led up to this point in the overall program. Now, as you well know with Disc 1, it taught you to relax quickly and efficiently. That valuable lesson is key to experiencing the rest of the program properly. Without the ability to relax the mind, we can fall victim to any variety of automatic responses and panics that lead to an all-around inefficient reaction. Moving on to Disc 2, we raised the bar a bit and challenged your ability to relax using audible distractions, and even delayed the previous disc's usual descent into meditation. The point was that if you can relax in the face of challenge, you can gain the true reward of generating relaxation and focus when needed most. Disc 3 continued this same lesson, taking you even deeper into slower theta brainwave rates, while countering with a contrasting plateau of faster brainwave activity. Primarily, this contrast in frequencies was applied to teach the brain that it can operate at faster brainwave rates while still maintaining its connection to your subconscious activity and take strength from the virtual state of mind that we often call intuition. In Disc 4, we offered you that well-deserved break from the series of challenges prior by merging the usual relaxation with an example of balance between upper and lower brainwave rates. Additionally, we applied a rise in faster brainwave rates while showing the exact balancing point for you to reference slow, deep brainwaves and their equally useful, faster counterparts. Disc 5 took you towards the deepest entrainment frequencies that are found in the entire system. This disc maintained the same important balancing act as Disc 4, yet it is a step below the brightened attention of that previous disc. This disc also offered you the ability to take yourself into a comfortable introspective mentality far from outward awareness while directing your attention within. This benefit is very important since shielding ourselves from outside stimuli allows us to concentrate on our thoughts and conscious activity within with clarity. And now, let's look to the construction of this final level, the appropriately titled Disc 6 Fusion. Beginning with the prime tier, we enter at the crucial center frequency between alpha and theta. At this point, we can only go up or we can go down. In order to guide you towards non-drowsy meditation, we go down just a smidge in an arc towards a lowered alpha. This is marked by an ambient tone to mark this point. This arc then continues, moving back up past our center point and up to a raised alpha rate on the opposite end. Again, an ambient tone marks this point. Continuing this arc, we move back down to our center point and then invert downward into a much larger arc, which makes its way down to the theta range, midway in the CD. Again, another ambient musical marker announces this point. Moving on, the prime tier sweeps back up to the center point, inverts, and makes its move to high alpha with another similar sound marker as before. This arc continues, moving back down and completing at our center point of origin. In the major tier, we begin at an identical point as the prime tier, yet in this instance we move up to an alpha range that is identical to the final alpha arc seen in the end of the prime tier. This point also centers over the crossover seen below in our prime tier. As always, an audio marker announces this balance point. Moving downward, we sweep below in the opposite direction of our center point between alpha and theta. This bottom point is marked again with yet another audio event. From here, we move up again through the center point, sweep up into high alpha. As usual, this apex is marked with yet another ambient tone to designate this balance point in the entrainment. From here, we fall back down, completing our arc and merging with the same frequency point that each arc had been originating from. On the minor tier, again we enter at the same centering frequency but invert our arc away from the previous tier, moving down to low alpha. Continuing that arc, we move back up to our center point, apply a marker tone, and sweep high up into alpha again, just as our major tier soon will. Note also that we have formed yet another circle when considering the basin of the prime tier, seen below this very point. Moving on, we move back down again to meet our center point with the usual audio marker, continuing on and moving to a brief stop at low alpha before heading back up to the opposite side of the center, where our arc peaks and falls again to meet our common center frequency. Now, each peak and valley and center of these entrainment rates are all indicated by a sound event of some sort. This is done to make your conscious mind particularly aware of each balancing event in the brainwave entrainment tiers. Now, this explanation may seem a bit complicated, if not redundant, but the poetry and interplay between these entrainment tiers is obvious to the eye, and even more so for your brain and mind. To best communicate the effects of Disc 6, I'd like to pass on a few of the experiences shared by users who have completed the 6th level. This is not what I have to say, but what other users like you have to report once they have completed the system. Here are some of the things that they have experienced. A mastery of the ability to relax with ease, even when challenges or a confrontation with potential stress arises. Feeling more refreshed all the time. The ability to easily correct bad habits and character flaws due to a close connection to one's inner voice and purpose. A new degree of self-worth and believing in oneself. Then there are lucid dreams, as in actually being able to recognize that you're dreaming and then shape the course of the dreams as they occur. This is a very valuable experience as it allows you to interface with your subconscious mind on an amazing level. Others also experience spiritual epiphanies or ideas that transform how they connect to the world for the better. Furthermore, many users reported that they had found courage to start a new business, take on a challenging hobby, or even succeed in high-profile positions or tasks like management, public speaking, and more. All of this occurs from teaching your brain and your mind the lessons of self-control, mental, and emotional balance.